Hello everyone, Kate from Approved here, and I would like to walk you through purchase order approval workflow. You must have noticed that we have added two new tabs to our finance section in the left side menu, purchase orders and cost centers, and today we're going to talk about purchase orders. This is the purchase order tab. All the purchase orders you create are going to appear here. You can't create a purchase order, however, unless it has been approved. So to create purchase orders, you need a purchase order approval workflow. Let's create one right now. In the Workflows tab, we create New Workflow and select a purchase order approval template. This is the peculiarity of this particular template. With purchase orders, you can fire the vendor pre-approval process, which means that if the vendor that you have selected for your purchase order does not yet exist in the system in the Vendors tab right here, then a separate stage of approval will be fired with its own approval flow. So let's activate it. And right now we can configure approvers. We'll call it vendor approval stage and select approvers. Hit save. And now we can configure our form fields for our purchase order. You will notice that you cannot remove fields from the standard template of purchase order. This is made specifically so that our purchase orders in Approvit would be easily synced with purchase orders in accounting software like Xero, QuickBooks, Sage, whatever. This is a pretty standard form. There's nothing really very specific about it. So what I can do is I can change labels for the fields, but I like them how they are, so I will leave them as they are. And in the line item here, I can also change the columns if what there is already is not sufficient. But I am happy with how everything is, so I'll hit save. And I'll configure my approvers, call this step PO approval, and select approvers. And hit save. I will name my workflow purchase order and vendor approval, and it's ready to be saved. Let me show you how it looks when we fire this workflow. The workflow we just created is right here. So we fire it by pressing this button over here. And I fill in the form. I have filled in my purchase order approval form, and I have created a new vendor so that the pre-approval stage will fire. Let's submit our request. It has been submitted, and I got a notification that I am asking for my own approval. I can review this request in my Slack messages right here. I can see the vendor details that I have submitted for approval. I can view it and approve right now. Vendor pre-approval stage has been completed, and I received a new message that purchase order approval is required. So it's a separate approval request, and you will see it in the approval request tab as a separate request. So I will show you how it looks in the app right now. Our stages look like this. So first stage has been completed, and the second one, purchase order approval, is in progress. Right now, our purchase order will appear in the purchase orders tab in the status draft. So let's go inside. We can review all the details and see approval details. And as I'm an approver in this workflow, I can review it all and hit approve. That's it. Our purchase order has been approved. Now, what we can do is go inside this purchase order and link it to a bill. There is a button copy to bill. Bills also cannot be created without approval, so I choose a bill approval workflow. Hit next. And all the data from my purchase order has been copied to this bill. I just need to fill in the bill number. And everything looks perfect. I just select the department as it's a required field in this workflow and send a request. That's it. Now my purchase order has a bill linked to it, and once it's approved, it will appear in the bills section right here in the status approved. Right now you can see it in the status pending. So that's how it works. And if you would like to explore this further together or you have any questions, please don't hesitate to message us in the live chat right here. Thank you for your attention.